Star Wars had some nudity in it apparently, and they needed some stormtrooper get blown off. I'm like, oh my god, they do have penises. It all depends. It really is. I mean, and once again, it's nothing much to look at. So for me, it would look like that blurry box anyway, even without that blurry box. So, I mean, if anybody's seen the movie I did called Vulgar, which was produced by Kevin Smith, written and directed, and co-stars Brian Johnson from Comic Book Man. That was a very envelope-pushing script. Did you call him to let him know it was pushing?
No, I was only given your number.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
And that would.
Because they said, wait, I thought it was 1:15. So I guess they didn't know.
How often are you on the con circuit? Like how many months, I guess?
This year has been, the ending of last year, the beginning of this year was a little bit more busier than usually I'll do like 5 or 7 a year, so 5 or 7 weekends a year, give or take. This year has been like a good 12, 13 weeks. In October I'll be doing, for the first time, Melbourne, Australia, and Auckland, New Zealand. So that's a 2-week trip because they fly you in, you have like a day or two to yourself before Melbourne starts. You do Melbourne weekend, then you have another day or two, and then they fly you midweek to Auckland. You have a day or two, then they do Auckland, and then you have a couple of days, and then they fly you back. And I'm based out in New York. So that's a lot of fun. I've never been to that side of the planet, so it'll be fun to see it and flush the toilets, see if they go back there. We can have some shrimp on the bobby, and a couple of Fosters, and anything else that I can genuinely make a generalization about with Australia.
Drop bears?
Yeah, you know, find a koala bear to stroke and hop on a kangaroo, ride that, and then go, crikey.
All right.
Stay away from the stingrays, I've learned that lesson. Yeah, so they're just getting their stuff together.
Okay.
But I enjoy it. The promoters of this specific con, I've done their other shows back in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts, and they're good guys. Organization-wise, they got everything together, and they know usually the right selection of guests that will work for certain areas. I still want to find out what the answer was for why Colorado. Not like I don't want to be here. I was like, is it the weed, or is it's close to the air base? What is it? But
have you partaken?
have I partaken? Not here, not while I've been here. And it's weird, you know, because I'm just like, all right, now's the time that, I mean, Jason Mewes has been clean and sober now for almost 7 years, and let's make sure it keeps it that way. And that's why he travels with his friend. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if Comic Cons are weed-based clientele. I'm sure it's definitely pizza-based. I know that. So it should be a lot of fun. A lot of the guests here I'm fans of as well, and I've been on the con circuit with before, so it should be a blast. I was just last weekend in Shreveport, Louisiana for GeekCon. Tara Reid was there for that one. She'll be there here for this one, and she had a great reception there, so it'll be interesting.
So you're not too picky about where you go or which ones you participate in. It's just people that you know or have worked with before.
Well, I have management, and when my agent says, you know, we've got an offer in for this show, I ask the particulars: how big's the show, where's it going to be at, how long it's going to be, and we'll see what happens. There are shows that are so small, like there was one in the Midwest that I went to not too long ago that it was just not that kind of a town. Right. It almost felt like something out of Footloose, like, we don't like dancing here, you know what I mean? It was like, we don't go for that Satanist kind of Comic-Con stuff. So that one, you know, although it was organized very well, just people didn't come out. Plus you're in competition with a lot of local things, like this weekend starts the Colorado State Fair. That may draw people away from this, but at the same time, if it rains, it's a place to go. Rain is the best thing for film festivals and Comic-Cons, so.
Do you have any preference over cons or film festivals? Is there one thing more than anything
Well,
else?
cons I'm working pretty much. Film festivals, when I go to film festivals, if I'm not part of a jury, working as well, where you're watching all 12 films in a category, or 20 films, depending on what category you're being asked to be a juror member of. I like the film festival circuit just because it's just sit, watch films, and have a blast. Meet other colleagues, meet brand new first-time film directors and writers, which I always like working with first-time directors and writers because they're so passionate for the film that they're making, and their vision is so usually extremely focused on what they need to get done. So, have been a part of a film that did exactly that, and have worked with other first-time film directors since. I find the writing better and their ability to cooperate and work with you and to punch things up is always higher. Unless you have someone like Kevin who's very focused with his writing. And you know, in the beginning it was like, you know, and still to this day, it's like he writes it because that's what he does.
So there's no freedom in what, as far as you taking
Not
taking
really.
it where you want to
Not
go.
really. It depends. There are things that we're allowed to do, you know. But as far as dialogue, it's usually like 98% is written.
And so the first-time directors are a little bit more lenient.
Sometimes.
That you work
It
with?
depends. The ones I've worked with since, yeah, you know, they've hired me because they've enjoyed the work I've done. So they trust my skill set to do what I'm doing. So it's that type of environment where I can do it. There he is.
Said 115, bro.
No, I know.
Yeah, we had a
They called
cancellation.
yesterday and
I'm waiting the 115.
so she said, "Do you mind coming in early?" This was yesterday, so I assume they contacted you.
No,
What's up,
Brian,
brother?
It's your fault.
No, it's not my fault.
Who canceled on you?
Ming Chen.
Ming Chen. It's fucking
Did
Ming's
they
fault.
not come? They just canceled this.
No,
Not
No,
the,
no, they're
had a-
coming tomorrow. They're flying in
Yeah.
tonight.
It is flight
Is it-
delay.
Oh, and they had to shoot. Yeah,
still
the whole
shooting.
schedule got messed up for.
So
that-
I
so
was
when
just
you
there.
see
I just
Ming-
came from there, so.
He's the dude you got to
Me and Mike, yeah.
Which that's always fun too, working with these guys on the road as well. Especially Johnson. Johnson's a fucking riot.
How
This
long
is
have
the
we doing
press.
this?
Half hour if that.
So I'm just debating about the urinate first.
Probably.
Where's the bathroom? Sorry, I should probably go to the bathroom first.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't know. Again, I didn't know.
No, no
Sorry.
problem, bro.
I wasn't prepared for the. Where's the restroom? Does anyone know?
Down near the pool. Make a right and a left. Don't pee in the pool.
Is that a possibility? Come on.
No. Hasn't had his Red Bull yet. I don't know. Could be anything. So yeah, so those guys will be here. They're flying tonight. They'll be here to do the show tomorrow. Mike and Ming and Walt and Briar are always fun to hang out with. Since I live in New York and I see them pretty much once a week, every week the crew has a poker game that we're all invited to, that we can hang out and play poker and talk shit and bust chops.
What's Walt's radius of travel?
Radius of travel as far as a couple of tanks fulls of gas.
That's
Can
it.
get him. You know, if he's doing something for Kevin that's West Coast, he's either taking the train or taking the bus or something. He's like the Bill Madden of the Views universe. Like he gets on the bus and boom, he's out there. But someone's got to watch the store. It is a business after all. So that's why it was rare to find us all a couple of weeks ago, all of them together up in Buffalo. That's because he drove up to Buffalo, brought his family. They did Niagara Falls and a bunch of other things. So. Anyone else, or is this guy going to lead the pack? Is this a pool reporter, like war correspondent, where only one guy
We're
comes
all
in?
asking him to ask you.
Oh, all right.
I got an earpiece.
He picked the long stick.
I'm open to anything, so please. I mean, his first question was, would I do nudity? So come on, can't go far from there.
Any directors you'd particularly like to work with?
Who I haven't worked with, you mean?
Yeah.
I would love to see the process of Oliver Stone or someone, you know, you could talk about all the greats. I'd love to work with Spielberg or even, what's his name, John, Iron Man director, John Favreau. I think Favreau, I have a weird connection with a high school friend of his. I'd love to work with John Favreau. I think he's pretty funny. I would love to work with Scorsese, but every role I go up for, you know, fucking what's his name gets. Like Pretty Boy. So was this close to Wolf on Wall Street. So yeah, there's a couple of directors like that who I'd love to. When you're talking about, well, if you're going to do wish list shit, you might as well go for it. But I find new, first time, and indie type directors really appealing. I like, you know, it's that kind of like we're all in it together atmosphere. While some of the bigger productions, bigger film productions, it's like, you know, we'll call you when we need you from your trailer type of thing. Which has its own benefits as well, I'm not gonna lie to you. So it's fun.
All right. Much better.
There you go. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
How are we rolling with this, homeboys
They're just opening up
and
questions.
homegirls?
So you got anything for him there?
Sure.
Mister, would you do any nudity?
Well, I mean, he's already done the nudity, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
Done.
We know the answer.
we know that answer.
I can't go anywhere else from there.
Forgot to ask you if you'd be in my movie, but we'll talk about that later.
You did.
Did I
ask
ask
me
you?
a while ago.
Yeah, we got the money, bro. It starts
Oh.
October.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'll be working with another director.
Can
So
you give
I
us-
might have missed this. What are you guys working on in the future? What's more recent?
Well, I don't want to talk about my thing as much because it's like there, but it's not like there's no announcements or anything yet. But I mean, I'm hoping Mallrats happens.
TV show, yeah.
Moose Jaws is looking pretty good, and I'm sure Brian will be in that. I know Jay and Bob will be in that. Well, I'm saying it's not up
I
to
would
me.
hope to. Yeah. It's not up
It's-
to us.
yeah,
Because
I'm
trust us,
saying-
we'd all be in the same movie every single time.
But I'm saying I'm sure Kevin wrote the script, and I'm sure he has a character in mind for Brian. It wouldn't be Dante or anything, but Jay and Bob will be in the in Moose Jaws.
I'll be in the moose suit.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Mallrats again happens, which then would be, you know, throughout. I'm sure it would be Dante, and then
I want
all
to
the
play every
different
character.
characters.
I
Yeah,
think that's like
and then I don't know. I mean, again,
be
there's
like the
another thing.
Eddie Murphy of the group.
Kevin Facebook Live did, so I'm assuming it's allowed to sort of be mentioned that there possibly might be another Vulgar.
Oh yeah, no. Johnson's
You
been
already
talking about-
mentioned that.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I didn't know. I didn't mention
Late
that to
the
this
party.
crowd.
Oh.
But in other interviews and other shows, yeah, Johnson and I have been talking about
Yeah,
that
he
quite a bit.
told me
actually.
about it yesterday. He told me the part.
Did he
wants
tell you
me to
what you-
play.
yeah.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah, it looks like maybe Vulgar if
Yeah.
things all go smooth. Brian Johnson from Comic Book Men. I just came back from Comic Book Men. Did a few episodes on that for AMC.
with your lovely daughter last season.
Yeah, and Logan came in on this one too real quick.
Oh,
She
sweet.
came to Jersey, so. And then yeah, I'm hoping that direct all goes as planned, and if it does, it's like 99% there. I'm gonna direct my own movie. That this guy and I came up with the idea. He wrote it though, and we've been going back and forth tweaking it and looking at locations and all that. So it's pretty far. It's pretty far ahead. It's just there has been a few hiccups, of course. So there's that, and then Kevin and I still do Jay and Bob Get Old. There's the comic conventions. I go to Australia in November for 10 days, do a couple conventions. I'm here now this weekend, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm just trying. I feel like there was something. Oh, Kevin and I do a show called What's in the Box, with it's
Screen
on
Junkies.
Geeky. Yeah, with no, Screen Junkies. Yeah, the Screen Junkies app from yeah. So and you know, I know Kevin has a few other things. Excuse me, and I don't know. I'm not saying he's gonna throw me or Brian. I don't know. Not even myself. I don't know, but he's doing Buckaroo Banzai, which he's been talking about. I'm hoping he'll throw me in a little piece of that. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that going down. Of course, there's always meetings and auditions and stuff for me in LA for TV stuff. I really want to do TV. That's sort of like, I really hope the Mallrats things happens because it'd be the combo of getting to work on TV, which I really want to do, and working with Kevin. So, and playing, of course, a character I know sort of well, a little bit well.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, playing the character you know, did you want to stay with comedy if you go to TV?
No, not really. Actually, I'm not. I don't really watch a lot of comedy TV. I like shows. I mean, I watch almost everything. but comedy, and not because I don't like it. I'm just saying I really am into shows like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of. So right now, like every morning I wake up and I check the iTunes because you know the new episodes come out. Like I've been really into Zoo. There's a show called Zoo that I really dig. The Last Ship. Of course, it's not on now, but Arrow and Flash and all the Marvel's The Shield I love. Just trying to think of whatever other shows that are. Oh, there's a show called Motive that I really like, and there's a show called Murder in the First. Bless you. So shows like that, I really like the Detective, CSI, Hawaii Five-0, Bones. Those are the type of shows I like, and I'd love to get on a show. I would like
No,
to
it
get
just
on.
reminds me of like early on, like years ago, when
Murder,
we
She
talk
Wrote?
Murder She Wrote, right?
Yeah.
Where you were just like Murder She Wrote, bro.
Yeah. No,
I
so
watch
shows
that all
like
the time.
that, I would love to get on something, more so something like that. I mean, even if it was, again, it would be fun to play something different, I think, for me. If it was
You should
whatever,
be on
a new
detective
cop
show.
on Hawaii Five-0. I really like that show, Lucifer. I just saw that they're doing a season 2 of that, so that's cool. So I don't know, there's a ton of shows I watch. I watch Suits with my old lady, Game of Thrones. But yeah, anything like that. I don't watch a lot of comedy shows, believe it or not. Modern Family is like the only one that I really could
That's a
say
good
that I
one.
watch, which is
That's a
really
good
good.
It's
But
awesome.
anyway, but yeah, and not saying I wouldn't do comedy. I'm just saying that those are the shows that I asked my agent to go out for. Like, been asking to try to get me on as guest spots for now, and then hopefully, a more reoccurring thing. I don't know if I'd want to be on a reoccurring on Flash or Arrow, and not because I love it. It's almost the opposite. It sounds weird, but I feel like I wouldn't enjoy sitting
Knowing
down
that you're on, right.
watching the Flash every week if I knew I had to look at my face, 10 minutes out of the 23-minute episode or whatever it is. I just wouldn't be able to dig it as much because I'd be like, oh, here I come on. I could have done better there. Oh, look at him getting a little fat in the butt. Whatever. So, but again, I would love to just do more guest spots. Like Kevin's doing, I think he's announced the other one, right?
Super?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Super, because I know I mentioned it way back in the
No, he-
beginning. I knew, but I guess no
He
one
talked
knew
about
yet.
it.
So anyway, good. He talked about it. But yeah, I'm hoping that, I get lucky and they throw me in. Even if, again, like on the Flash, if it's something as simple as me coming out of the building and I'm just like, hey, what's up?
What do you want to be? A bad
My
guy or a
cat's
good
in the
guy?
tree.
I would be either, again, I'd rather be, it'd be fun to be a bad guy. So that would be ideal. But, again, I'd be happy with just like my Flash episode where it's a guy coming out of a restaurant and he's like, that's my mom's car. So again, that set designs and stuff, like the Flash was so much fun. Like I got to go down in on the Arrow set, the Bandipur, or you
Saw
say
those
that.
photos.
Yeah, that was awesome. I just got to meet Ra's al Ghul's daughter last convention in
Nice.
Colorado. No, we're in Colorado now. Damn, I've been all over. So I just was at a Connecticut and
Terrific time.
Chicago.
Chicago
Yes.
Wizard World.
But yeah, so that was cool. She's very nice, very attractive. Very pretty. Pretty, Brian.
It's funny because that's like, yeah, we have a table and we have fans and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's the exact same thing. We're at the con going like, oh my god, look at her! Holy cow, look who's here! And it's interacting with them that geeks us out. I mean, I'm still a huge fucking raging nerd and geek, and every con I get to, I'm like, I meet someone else now. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I got to talk and meet so and so. So it's the same thing.
Is there anybody you just kind of forgot how to talk when you met?
Who I couldn't know how to talk.
Yeah, you just couldn't respond to him.
Oh, I
anymore?
never
James Earl
knew.
Jones,
Yeah.
but I saw him coming out of, I'd seen him in a play in New York, and he was coming out the stage door, and just in my head, it's just, as a Star Wars, growing up as a Star Wars fan, in my head, it's like, Luke, I am your father, or things like that, or I want that girl, I want him alive, But to me, I have to just go, oh, Mr. Jones, I'm a huge fan, you sign my playbill. But yeah, it's that type of thing where it's just like, just want him to force choke me.
Was there any apprehension about coming to Colorado for you?
For me, no, not at all. What do you mean? For what reason? Because it's cold, or because?
Well,
It's
the
getting
recreational
cold.
Getting
weed.
recreational.
Oh no, not at all. I didn't even think of that. Weed doesn't bother me. It's like I'm all for weed. I don't smoke weed, but I do think there's it's a big help. Like I think it should be legal everywhere. Because like I've had people who use it for nausea because they've had cancer,
Chemo, right?
AIDS, what have you. And I think I'm all for it. But I don't crave it, even though I liked weed back. It's been a long time since I smoked. It's not like the other drugs that you know that brings me down quick. Cause I don't know. When I used to smoke, I could smoke and be cool for 10 hours. If I do coke, I want to do it all day and night, and then I'm chasing it for the next day and the next day. Next thing, your pants are down for $10. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm
means
saying.
your pants are
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that opiates and like speed and stuff like that is stuff that I can't
Well, shit's
put
crazy
down.
now. I mean, I
Yeah.
was just watching CNN today. 88 people this week in Ohio, 25 in Indiana, or 18 in Indiana. There's some major strain of heroin going on where they've laced it with fucking elephant tranquilizer.
Oh.
So you're overdosing, thinking you're doing a
Oh,
normal
there's
dose.
fentanyl,
Yeah,
fentanyl,
fentanyl's
yeah.
in it, and
Yeah.
boom, they're out. So.
Between
Yeah.
that and the
Shit's
Flocka,
crazy
where people are
now.
eating each other.
Yeah, shit's crazy now.
Yes.
You're better off with just some local low TLC or TCA, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you call it, weed, and keep yourself cool. You know, fucking
Mellow.
opiates, man, will fucking kill you.
Mellow.
Well, we've gotten that question off the table.
Yeah.
What is it about TV that you find so exciting? Specifically?
For me, I don't know. I think there's more and more the TV. There's a lot of good TV to me that I dig, and I don't know. I think it's just a weekly, the weekly getting to know the characters, and then the backstories, and then if there's a next season, wondering what's gonna happen. I was just thinking about the next day or two that The Strain comes out, season 3, which I really dig. I don't know. I just think that it just keeps going. You know what I mean? There's each episode. It's a movie. Of course, I love. You sit down and watch 90 minutes, but then it's over. With TV, it's like if it goes the second season, the third season, there's always, especially with the crime shows, I said I liked, there's always, each episode they're trying to solve a crime, but there's always the serial killer that might go on for 3 seasons. Like in Bones, there was that one guy who was like the hacker guy, and he was in like 5 seasons, and then there was so just stuff like that. I like how they have the main story, and then there's always like the side story that keeps going throughout.
Plus, as an
the
actor,
seasons.
you have
Yeah.
growth in that character.
Yeah.
Episodic work is. I mean, when I talk to different classes, I tell them like, look, out of the 4 mediums, it breaks down like this. Film is the director's medium. They're in charge of everything. The takes, how they want a shot set up, and all this other stuff. Theater is the actor's medium, because once you're done rehearsal and you're live, that's it. There's no stop, cut, let's do it again. It's you as an actor with an audience and your fellow actors. And television is the writer's medium. That's where a writer can write these characters again and again and again, work with the actors portraying those, and write some really great work. And if it's done well, it can go on for many, many years. And then TV and radio, well, ugly people need jobs too. It's that type of thing. Voiceover artists are amazing. Some of the fun people I've ever worked with was while doing the Clerks cartoon and other cartoons and voiceover work. So that's how I always explain it. So TV work is a great way to take a character and continue to build backstory and more and find out crazy shit that if you go long enough, people love and have a following forever.
I was just talking to you briefly before we got started here, and I'm able to notice that personality-wise, there's not a lot of difference between both of your normal USQ characters and the people we're sitting in front of here. It's just like there's not much of a stretch. Was that the casting decision?
Well, first off, it's very hard to be talking in the American accent being that I'm English. So that's when I've been fooling you the entire time. No, it wasn't a stretch because Kevin wrote very easily how I could relate to the neighborhoods and the part of Jersey we grew up in. What he wrote was not far from people that we know and friends that we hang out with. So doing that and playing that kind of whiny bitch that Dante is wasn't that far off from me as just a general nice guy. My personality is more of a wise ass like Randall, to be quite honest with you. but someone's got to play the straight guy, and that's fine. And I enjoy playing Dante, and I enjoy working with Jeff especially. He has a grasp of who Randall was immediately. Even though Kevin wrote it as an archetype for Brian Johnson in real life is really Randall. Like, Johnson will spit out shit to you right in front of you, like, what? Where did that fucking come from? You know, that type of stuff. So it's not that far of a stretch, but at the same time, it's because of Kevin's words, man. He knows how to write what we like to say, and we get it.
Well, for me, it was he literally wrote it for me.
Right.
So,
Jay
yeah,
was
like
Jay.
it was. Him and I had been hanging out at that point for about 4 or 5 years, and so that was stuff that I've said and done and everything, and so yeah, that's for my character. Yes, stuff.
Kevin was more of a news reporter, just following around. What
Yeah.
else did you say?
And that's where I was.
What was that
then.
snooky? What were you saying again?
So, but yeah, I was more of that obnoxious then, and that's why if you notice in the movies, he actually sort of wrote Jay to changed a little bit. Like in Clerks 2, I talk about deployed airbag and being sober, and you know he's not as snoochy boochies in that one. And that's because again, as I got older, of course I couldn't get away with as much stuff. Like, you know, if I was 15 here, I could pull my yam bags out, and you guys, I couldn't necessarily get arrested. I'm a child, but now you guys, I
Good thinking.
can get sexual
thinking.
harassment. You know, who knows what would
You don't need
happen.
that again.
Never. But you know what I'm saying. As I got older, I had to be a little more mature and not say. And I started feeling people out, not just saying what I thought because I might upset somebody. Where when I was 15, I didn't think about that. It wasn't like, oh, if I say this dude's nose looks funny and he gets upset, I don't care. Really.
It'll be interesting to see your
Now I
daughter
do.
at 15, 16 seeing your previous films going like, Daddy, why are you naked in front of the restaurant?
Why is your ball bag out? Why are you tucking? I
have
tuck
two
now.
mommies. I never knew.
When you guys get together for Comic Book Man or something that you're going to film in the future, is there a big sense of nostalgia when the whole crew gets together? Or is it professional? Is it like straight to business? Do you guys kind of go
There's
back to
lots
old
of
habits?
sex to open it up.
Yeah, we usually have to
That's
get
it,
used to each other again. So
lube each other.
there's a lot of handling, hand holding, ball holding.
I for me personally, I love it. Like honestly, it's like there's a lot of nostalgia. I feel like because not only with like Brian and whoever else in the cast, he hires a lot of the same. Like the first 5 movies was Dave Klein, the DP, and a lot of his grips and gaffers and all that were the same. Craft service person and like a script
Ratso doing the
supervisor.
sets.
Yeah, like just a lot, all the same people. So you hang out with these people 3 months, then you don't see them for 2 years. I mean, you might see them here once or twice, but it's like camp almost.
That's
and
exactly
it
how
is.
I say it. It's
Yeah,
like
it
going to a
is.
summer camp with people
With
from
the-
different schools.
Yeah, that you've been friends with for. I mean, it's been again now 15,
22
20 years.
years.
So. Yeah, longer for us. I mean, Clerks we did ourselves, but then it was really since Mallrats that
That crew
the same,
started
yeah.
to pull together.
But yeah, so I love it. I mean, again, I have fun on other movies and definitely some of the other directors and people that I've worked with have been great. But that's why it honestly would be awesome for me if Kevin. I'd love to do like TV, of course, like I said earlier. But if Kevin could do like 1 or 2 movies a year and we could all just get together, like it would be amazing.
It
Just because
is.
I always have fun.
He's always
fun.
he's always whenever a set he takes over as fucking captain of the ship of fun on any set, and it's guaranteed all the time. And it's always awesome because we get to know each other. We know what we can pull on each other. We're already comfortable. Well, coming onto a new set with new people you've never worked for, you don't know what that boundary is. Oh, could we fuck around with Rosario on different jokes? Turns out she's a big prankster on her own, and she was always hilarious to work with. So it's always depending on who comes in. Every time I see new people that Kevin's brought in to his world of people he likes to work with, it's awesome to see that they get it as well. And he's right. Like when the anticipation of working on something is amazing. Like if the 10-part miniseries of Mallrats happens and we're at this location for 10 episodes, which will probably be 10 to 15 weeks of work, it's going to be insane. We'll be out of our minds having fun, and it should come across through the TV because it's a comedy that I think people, when we're having fun, usually they have fun.
There's always a sense of, I don't know, a genuinity to it, I guess, that always.
Oh yeah, we call out each other on bullshit all the time. So we don't let each other get away with shit. I mean, fucking, like I said, that poker game we do weekly at Comfort, we're talking shit at each other all the time. So it's that type of, like
Oh,
I
it's on
said,
the bubble
we've
again.
known each other over 22 years. Kevin known other people 15 years and other times, and that's why we like working with each other. They're comfortable with it. We get each other. They complete us.
Has it grounded the friendships? Like that sense of knowing each other, has the universe, I guess, the Views universe just grounded the friendships and kept it going? Would it have otherwise maybe not have been, would they not have not maintained the way that they have, were it not for?
Look, as long as the people like the films, it maintains.
But I feel like the friendship, I think I know what you're saying too, but I feel like it grounds definitely because like for Brian and I, like he lives in Jersey, so like yeah, we're not on the phone all the time, like hey buddy, it's good to, but we get to see each other at these cons and then we get to do movies together and TV. So yeah, our friendship is stuck, through all these years because of that. Is that what you meant,
Yeah.
sort of? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally. Like it's so yeah, it is that. And again, with some of the other people, that we continuously work with and stuff. Like Dave Klein is another one. Like I've known him as long as Mosier and Brian and stuff, and he's another one. I don't like talk to him on the phone and stuff, but we see each other. I did more often. Now he's like off doing True Blood and Homeland
yeah,
and
he's
stuff.
become huge.
So
now.
we haven't
Great-
seen
finally,
it. I
really
haven't
great
seen
DP.
it.
That's-
Yeah, it's
that's-
good for him. Now there's a new DP that Kevin really likes that worked on Tusk and Yoga. There's a great dude named Laxton. So yeah, it is. It's interesting because it is the case. It's like you've known someone forever, and not everyone. Again, we talk sometimes emails and phone, but again, it's not like every week and stuff. He's in Jersey doing his thing, and I have my family out here, and so it's nice. It's nice that we get brought together for these things. So
and I watch out for my friends as well, so keep an eye on each other.
One more question.
I got a George Carlin story from Dogma.
oh, I don't have it. I don't
I
have
do.
a good one. I wish I did. I mean, again, I was like nervous in his presence the whole time, and Kevin did a lot of time. Like him and Kevin would just go on tangents. So again, every scene I'm in is with Kevin, of course, and then he's directing as well. But so most time they would talk, and I would just listen, and it was just amazing to listen to them too. So I don't know.
So one of the first, it was shot in Pittsburgh. One of the first weeks of shooting was all the Catholicism Wow press conference and the end of the movie scene where Bilky and Barbie go on a rant and start killing people and dropping them from the sky and stuff like that. And I was the news reporter, Grant Hicks. So I got into the makeup trailer. George at the far end, getting into his Cardinal Glick stuff. I was getting into Grant Hicks makeup, and George Carlin to me is my all-time favorite comedian as well. He would be on the Mount Rushmore of comedians if you had it my way. He grew up in the Bronx, and I was born and raised in the Bronx till the age of 10. In the same neighborhood. So I remember knowing that I had scenes with him. I bought his latest books at the time, which was which was called Brain Droppings. Brought it with me. Saw him and so he was always very friendly to everybody on set. And so he's like, so where are you from? He enjoyed Clerks, so I had that opening already that he knew my work from doing the original Clerks and Mallrats and stuff. And he asked where am I from, and I told him actually I'm from the same neighborhood as the Bronx as you. And he's like, really? And we talked about different high school that he went to and my brothers went to, and I had him sign the book. And then back in the day when you did continuity shots, which once you're dressed in costume so that makeup knows what makeup you're in costume, they took continuity shots. This is before digital cameras, they had the Polaroids. And this was the new Polaroid, those skinny little ones. So we did it. I said, do you mind if we take a shot? And so I have this skinny Polaroid with me as Grant Hicks, him as Cardinal Glick, in the trailer, and he wrote, from one Bronx boy to another, and blah blah blah. And I keep that in the book itself, the photo on my shelf. And I was at a convention. I was at a Horror Hound convention in Pittsburgh when the day he died. And I remember I used to leave the radio on to fall asleep like with white noise, and the radio like interrupted because of it's just in George Carlin had passed away, and I flipped out. I immediately got on my laptop. I contacted Kevin. I was like, oh my God, did you hear? And he's like, yeah, I've already heard. And it was a sad day, and he'll be greatly, greatly missed, especially when he told Kevin, and Kevin told this story, that the one film that Carlin always wanted to do was to play a pedophile priest, like a story about this pedophile priest. Remember him telling me that? And so I was like, oh my God, that would have been an awesome story. I mean, terrible, terrible, obviously, subject matter, but I can imagine Carlin playing that type of dark, dark character. So that's my Carlin story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, well, thank you
Thank
all.
you, guys.
Thank you guys, thank you.
Please hang up and try again.